Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with his good friend, Mr. Jason Pritchard. How you doing, sir?
Zuber, I am doing great. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. So I don't know if you've heard, but 2023 is going to be a nasty, yucky,
That's all that I'm
horrible.
hearing, man. That's it.
It's just all over the
Yeah.
place. So,
Yep.
how do you stand in front of that onslaught of negativity and skip in the rain, knowing that 2023 is going to be an amazing year? Because that's a gift that I don't think a lot of people have. How do you do it?
So it's a couple things, guys. It's number one, I focus so much time and effort and energy on developing a winning mindset, right? And so for me, that is the foundation that I build my business and my life off of, right? And so we have to focus on, especially now because it's tough. Like when all the discussions and the conversations that I'm having with other real estate professionals, they tend to be negative right now, right? People come and they're like, "Oh, how's the market treating you?" Right? And it's like, "Well, I'm doing pretty good, guys." You know what I mean? Like I'm still doing good. Businesses keep going on, but that's just not the same experiences that they're having. So you have to be very careful, I feel like, with who you're talking to, especially right now, because if you hear that message too many times, right, I think it's going to steer you in the wrong direction. And you have to keep investing in your mindset. And then I think above and beyond that, you have to stay very, very consistent, right? And disciplined in your business right now, right? I think in order for us to be successful moving forward in 2023, we are being very, very disciplined with the offers that we're making. In the last video, you were talking about how an agent brought you a $460,000 opportunity. You gave them two options. One of them was just over 200,000 cash price, right? And the other one was a terms deal with some pretty aggressive terms, right? And it's not easy to make offers like that, guys. Like, honestly, it's not, because 99% of those offers, right, you're going to get told no, right? And you have to
You'll probably get told no, F no.
Yes, yes. And that's hard. That's a tough pill to swallow, right? And I think you and I have built this muscle of just realizing, here's where our number's at. If this is what you want and needed to sell it, this is what we can provide you. And if it doesn't work, there's no hard feelings on our end. It's not anything personal, but business is business. And so I feel like you've got to be able to know and understand what's happening in the market, adjust down what you're doing with your offers, and stay disciplined. You can't force a deal right now, guys. And if you can, work on developing a winning mindset and stay disciplined with your offers and be consistent, and understand that as our pricings are, or as our resale values are going down, we have to adjust down accordingly with our offers and stay there. If you just keep showing up every day, you'll get the outcome that you're looking for.
There's a couple of things I want people to hear on this. There are very few people, which I include Jason and myself in this, that we could be in a room full of negative people.
Yeah.
And when we leave, wouldn't affect us at all.
Yep. Yeah.
It wouldn't chase either of us. We'll just do tomorrow like we would have anyway. Most people, you can defend off one or two negative people, but by the time the 17th conversation is negative, you're just dragged into the muck.
Yeah.
So if that's most of you. You need to do yourself a favor and block people, cut some people out, talk to them less.
And it's not just the personal interactions, guys. Like, the personal interactions are one thing, but I think social media is 10 times worse, because you right now need to be curating your social media feed to propel you to where you want to go, right? And most people are affected by what's happening, right? They click on something, they scroll, and they're impacted by it. They're not in control of what they're seeing on their social media feed. And you guys, if you're constantly sucked into politics and the news and this negative narrative about interest rates and the economy and housing prices going down, and you just keep clicking those articles, the algorithm is going to keep feeding it to you, right? And you need to become self-aware enough to say, like, whoa, what am I doing, right? And start hiding those articles and start saying, don't show me these things anymore, and start clicking on things that are going to propel you closer to where you want to go. Start following people that are talking about the things that we're talking about, and slowly but surely the algorithm will start putting more of that in front of you, and just watch how your outlook starts to change. I guarantee that it'll happen if you can do those things, right?
Yeah. So again, I'm not here to tell you 2023 is not going to be a recession. I think it's going to be a recession. And I'm on record of saying 2023, Jason, could be the worst year of my adult life. I could, from an economy, an economic.
Yeah. Yep.
But that said, it's going to be an amazing year, right? Macro economy, bad. Micro, Olivia and I, awesome. We're going to write great deals that make sense.
Yep.
We're going to get a bunch of 0 and 1% seller deals. We're going to flip a couple that make sense just to prove we can. We could borrow private capital on the old 6 and 20 that I wrote about in my book, which I haven't used for 3 years. It's going to be an amazing time. Micro, macro, right? Most of you just, like, this is crazy, right? People talk about the unemployment rate doubling. It's 3.5 today. It doubles to 7. That will be horrible for a couple of million people. Most of them will get jobs within 60 days, but it's going to suck. But guess what? Instead of focusing on 7% unemployment, you could decide to focus on 93% employed.
Everything
by the way,
goes back. Yeah. Everything goes back to the story you tell yourself, guys. And it's so important that you're telling yourself the right story. And that was a perfect example. You know what I mean? I think if you're telling yourself, oh my God, this is happening in inflation and unemployment and the interest rates and blah, 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 then that's what's going to manifest in your reality, guys. That's what's going to happen, right? You just attract the things that you think about all the time. So if you choose to think about, instead of, oh my God, home prices are going down and interest rates are going up, and instead you tell yourself, wow, this is going to kind of clear the field of all of the competition and all the people that have been in there. And that's going to mean more opportunities for people that are out there looking for them specifically. And I'm really excited about those upcoming opportunities. I'm going to adjust and adapt my business to accommodate those opportunities, and I'm ready. Then that's what your reality is going to be. And that's it, guys. Like, that's how things work. And it doesn't need to be more complicated than that. And I think most people just overcomplicate things, right? So you have to pay attention to the story that you're telling yourself every day. And if you choose to tell yourself a story that's empowering, then you are going to have those results follow.
Yeah, a couple of things. I want to hit this again. Jason brought it up earlier. Y'all need to start blocking some channels.
Yes.
And one of my experts I talked to on Monday, his social media feed, he jokes, is full of puppies and pets. He just wants to laugh sometimes. Yeah. Right? That's okay. Block all of the nonsense, right? It should be you should feel good when you're done, not depressed.
Are you, like, ask yourself this for the viewers that are out there that are struggling with this. What are you getting out of, like, what do you get out of some of the stuff that you're consuming from social media? Do you feel better when you start reading all of this stuff about the economy and interest rates and all this negative? Like, does it give you anything that has a positive impact in your life? And if the answer is no, which I would believe, if you're being really honest with yourself, the answer is probably no, because it's not just about getting the data. You can extract the data without all of that negative emotional stuff. There's plenty of places that you can go to be educated on what's happening in the market without the negative narrative that's like pushing and driving that article. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying don't educate yourself on what's happening, but I think you can't get swept away in all of the negativity that goes along with most of those things that are out there, guys. And so just ask yourself, like, why? Like, why am I doing this? And is it helping? And if it's not helping, maybe you should shift and change a little bit.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things I'll give you as mental hacks, and I'll see if Jason agrees or disagrees with them. Number one, every time I see a negative article, I internalize it, or negative conversation, I say this to my head: there goes 2% of my competition. What do you think?
I love that. I haven't even, and this is a cool little hack that I think that you just brought up right now. In order to change these belief systems that we have to replace them with other belief systems, guys. Right. And so what Zuber is using is what I've heard it referred to as like a pattern interrupt, right? So when you see this thing, right, and you automatically start going with this old negative belief system that you have, you're interrupting that pattern by saying, oh, this is not necessarily negative. It means that my competition is getting whittled down, and that means more opportunity. And the way that you really do it at a subconscious level, guys, right? So consciously you're making that decision, but we need to break down into a subconscious level so it just happens automatically. And the way that you do it is through repetition. It's doing this. And every single time you find yourself with this old negative thought pattern, you do this pattern interrupt and you insert a new belief system. And if you do it 30 times or 300 times or however many times it takes, guys, eventually you'll start to see that thing change. I love that. That's really good. I'm going to start using that.
Yeah. And again, it is such a subconscious. At this point, I read negative article. And if you were watching me, I smile most of the time.
Good for you.
Because I'm there they go.
Yep.
More people are leaving. All right. Yep. So that's one. Number two, I believe you make your money in this business when you buy.
Mm-hmm.
I also believe it's easier to make money in a buyer's market versus a seller's market. What do you think?
So I don't have firsthand experience with this because I've never experienced a buyer's market. So again, this is an example for me where I'm going to just ride the momentum from people that have been there and done that, right? And this is one thing that I'm very good at, right? I don't need to necessarily have firsthand experience to know that something is true. So I put myself in proximity with somebody like Michael Zuber, who's been there, done that, been through multiple market cycles. And every other person that I look up to and respect, and I actually value their opinion, says some variation of exactly what you just said right now. And even with me, and I'm great at mindset, guys, I have down days too. And I have times too where I was like, damn, dude, like, this is happening and that's happening. Jennifer and I were driving around the other day and she goes, are you scared with what's going on with the market right now? And so even with us, right, we deal with this type of stuff, right? And everybody that I've talked to that I value their opinion has said, Jason, now is when you're going to make even more money because you've gotten so good at buying stuff at a discount that now there's just going to be so many opportunities there for you. You're going to be able to just pick and choose the very best ones for yourself, dude, right? So I think if you don't have firsthand experience, guys, get around people that do and just listen to them and follow their lead, right? So if they know that this is how something is, then don't question it. Don't try to put your own little spin on it. Just go along with it. I love that.
Yeah. So again, just because we're buddies and friends, kind of, this is something I always challenge myself with, because in the last downturn, I've been here before, right? Sellers to buyers market. I've been here before. I had no idea where it was going.
Yep.
So what I did was I tried to make every deal better than the last one before it. So I remember buying a house that was worth over two something for 157. It was my first foreclosure. I bought all the way down to 28,000 bucks.
Wow.
I mean, almost like every 10 or 12 grand, but I had no idea where it was, but every deal was great the day I closed.
Yep.
Every deal cash flowed the day I closed with the debt structure in place. And yeah, I felt like an idiot paying 157 for something I could have bought 6 months later at 131 and 98 and 87. But it didn't matter. I was on to the next deal. It wasn't, let me just tell you this. Nobody rings a bell at the bottom. There's no bell. You do the work, you negotiate, you are what you are, and just make every deal better than the last. The deal you close is great. And then just make the next one better.
I love that. That's awesome, dude. This is good. This has been a good call for me, just picking up some little tidbits from you, man, because it's the conversations that I'm having and the meetings that I'm taking I spent a lot of time the last 2 years getting around a lot of newer investors and really investing in them and helping them and trying to uplift our community and push out a lot of the value because we've gotten so many new people coming into the market, right? And not that I obviously I'll always do that and I'll always help, but like almost a little bit more selfishly, the last, I'd say quarter, I've been very intentional about meeting with people that have been there, done that, because I want to hear about your experiences. I want to tap into your experiences. I want to take these little things and these lessons that you've learned over the last 15 years and start applying them in my life, man. So no, that's awesome.
Let me give you one more thing that I'm trying to do myself. And I think you could mirror if you so choose to. And this again, this is Jason, right? Your business, you're going to negotiate cheaper prices, keep the engine going, all of that.
Yep.
That's fine. But when you look at yours and Jen's portfolio, what I think we have in front of us is a chance to upgrade our portfolios. What do I mean by that? You and I both own Class C rental properties, right? It's not pretend it's
that's
not
the vast majority of it. Yep, 100%.
Yeah. One of the things that I look forward to doing is upgrading my portfolio. Now I'm going to try to do one of these like Park Place Boardwalk properties in Fresno, 500, 600, 700 grand, all owner finance, that whole thing. But there's a good chance if this goes on a while, I will 1031 out of my C class. Because what does the market need? First time home buyer stuff. What do we own? First time home buyer stuff. And then I'll 1031 into, B plus, A minus stuff. That's something that I'm going to try to hold myself accountable to, is upgrading what we own. Every cycle gives you an opportunity. And what I see in this cycle is luxury and move up market is dead.
Yes.
First time home buyer is still healthy, especially if the giveaway administration brings on more first time buyer stuff.
Yep.
I can kick out my tenants, clean them up, sell first time home buyer, 1031 into nicer stuff, and actually exit this portfolio this environment in a totally different process. So something to think about.
Yeah, no, I think for us, we've recently purchased like one or two, what I would say more like B plus A properties. Right. And it's a good feeling, dude. Like, honestly, I think just from a mental standpoint, like back when I first started, I would take anything, dude, anything, any neighborhood, any house. I don't care. I don't care what's going on. I don't care how many shootings happened over. I was literally every single house I would take it, man. And I had an appetite for that when I was first starting. But I think as you get to the space that you're at now, we have almost 100 doors, and it's like, I don't want to deal with all of that anymore. You know what I mean? It's just hard. It's hard, man. It's hard. It can be exhausting sometimes. And it's just like constantly over and over. And so I think there is something to be said with kind of upgrading to a higher grade of property. And we're slowly but surely doing that. And I'm looking forward to doing something similar, man. That's awesome.
Well, this is how we make 2023 great. Again, we keep doing the work, cut people off, look for opportunities to grow. And again, take the hack. There goes 2% of my competition. It's a wonderful feeling. To not get dragged into the muck. So Jason, where can people find you?
Instagram or Facebook are the two best places to connect with me, guys. Just put my first and last name in either one of those platforms. If you've got any questions, I get a ton of people that reach out, that watch one rental at a time, asking for credibility packets, asking me about my experience. I'm happy to jump on a call and help you guys out if you need it. So if I can be a resource to your audience, man, please reach out.
Yeah, Jason is so wonderful. He has a playlist on this channel. You can go back and watch ours. Go back to the original videos. And you guys don't know, his story is in 15 Conversations with Real Estate Millionaires. Thank you for being a part of the book.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Take care.